Welcome to Deer Feet. I'm Renee.
And I'm Jess.
And we're the Deerfoot Sisters. This week we're talking about New Year, New Me.
Right. That's right, Renee.
Why are you laughing, Jess?
I don't know. So, yeah, New Year's Eve happened. As it does.
New Year's Day also.
New Year's Day. We're in 2020.
Yes.
Did you read that you're supposed to write out 2020?
I saw that our aunt posted that, yes. I was like, okay, that makes sense, because you could just, they could fill it in with some other date. But I'm like, but why would they want to, say you signed something earlier than you did?
Yeah, true.
I mean, depending on what it is, I don't really know why that would be bad.
Well, I guess it could hurt you in some way if, you weren't supposed to do something, or it was all your ideas belong to us, and then they said you signed it in 2015 and you came up with a really cool podcast, and then...
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of hype about New Year's and New Year's resolutions, and everyone's like, New Year, new me.
New Year, who dis? My kids are freaking out about it being a new decade. They're like, oh my god, see you next decade. Oh, it's a new decade. And I was like, you can talk to me when you've lived through a new millennium.
That's true.
Sarah? But yeah.
Your kids, they might live through a new century, but...
A new century, probably, but a new millennium, probably not. Unless we come up with some really
Probably,
advanced...
though. I mean, they'd have to be 100 almost. Because most of them were born around 2000, right? Oh, no. They were born in 2005.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think a fair amount of them will probably see the century turn, but...
Still,
because
that's
people live
old.
Older nowadays, and they're always coming up with
People
new
live
stuff.
older?
Yep, people live older.
Although there's a lot of stuff that says that this is the first generation or whatever that won't outlive their parents.
Yes, that's true.
So we don't know.
Yeah, with climate change, who knows? Unless we move to the
Maybe we'll all be
moon or
dead in
something.
2050. No one will see it.
True. So there you go.
Except, I guess, whatever. If
Cyanobacteria or something.
what's supposed to happen in 2050? Is the Earth gonna explode, or?
I don't think so. I don't see how that would be feasible.
I guess
I
the
think it's
people
just
who
climate
live in that
change.
what is it called? That expensive underground bunker thing.
Oh yeah, those people will be fine. The
They'll
super
see.
rich will always find a way to survive.
They'll see.
Maybe.
Nature finds a way.
Sure, life finds a way.
Is that what it is?
I think that's
Okay.
Jurassic Park. If that's
Whatever.
What we're trying to quote.
The rich find a way.
They really do. They could just buy a new world.
Which, I mean, in Jurassic Park, it was a rich guy who, started the park.
Well, naturally. I mean, I feel like you have to be rich to start any amusement park.
But not to start a podcast.
Except maybe Toddland. What was that? Remember in BoJack?
Was that in this season?
No, it was, really old, and he made, an amusement park, but it was, there was,
Really bad.
fire and, knives and just broken glass. Yeah, it was, very Todd.
Todd and his Todd Jinx, or whatever he calls them.
His wacky misadventures.
Mm.
Anyway, so...
Have you ever made a New Year's resolution and stuck with it?
Probably not. I think New Year's resolutions are kind of stupid, to be honest. I probably feel about New Year's how you feel about Christmas. It's kind of dumb, and I don't really understand the hype. Because I just feel like it's kind of arbitrary. And it's if you're just making a goal because it's a specific time of year, how realistic is it that you're going to actually stick with it?
Yeah, true.
It's kind of how I feel about it. So I don't think I've really ever stuck with a resolution. And I also don't really make New Year's resolutions.
Do you ever remember making one?
Yeah, I made them. My Facebook memory from yesterday or something was that I was going to resolve to procrastinate less. But it was a joke because it was January 3rd that I made the resolution.
And you definitely have never done that.
No, actually there was 2 years in college where I didn't procrastinate. It was
Really?
very stress-free. Yeah, I was a week ahead on all my assignments and all my reading, and it was very nice, but didn't last forever.
Not nice enough, I guess.
It was nice while it lasted. I think back on it as the golden age. Ew, excuse you. What are you, a beefy boy? That was last
I'm a
week.
beefy girl.
Have you ever stuck with a resolution?
No. Well, my one year, I don't know, maybe 2014 or something. I think it was 2014 or 2013. It was 2013.
Well, regardless, what was the resolution?
Anyway, I made a resolution to go to church every week, and I did it for like 6 months.
But now you don't go to church ever.
Not really, no.
So why did you resolve to do that?
I don't know. I just wanted to get back into going to church. And
But now you don't care about church? You hate God now?
I don't hate God. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really care about going to church.
Did something
It's like-
happen to, like, make you change your mind? Or you just...
No, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like hard to know. Like, I'm still like a spiritual person and I like believe in certain things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like, why do you have to go to church every week? Like, I don't really see the point of it somewhat. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
But it was kind of a nice, like, it's a nice time to just do, like, reflection, and you get a little snack, so,
At church?
yeah.
A little Christ blood and body?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Fills you.
Sure. Yeah.
Fills your hunger.
Did you ever make a resolution to, like, lose weight or spend less money or anything like that?
Probably, but I don't really know.
Actually, last year I did make a resolution, and I probably will resolve the same this year if I make one, even though, like I said, it's kind of stupid. But it's like to make less waste. So I tried to create less food waste, especially. Food waste, I said. So trying to only buy what I'm going to use and not throw out food. Because that makes me feel really bad when I throw out, like, you know, a carton of strawberries that I bought and just never chopped up and ate. Like, so.
You could compost.
Okay, but still, I just like you're still wasting it.
Do
if
they
you're not
compost
eating
at
it.
your school?
No. Well, yeah, the environmental club composts. But we don't have, like, composts around, so you'd have to, like...
Could you, like, bring... Because you live in, like, an apartment complex, so it's probably hard to compost.
Yeah.
But if, you could bring your waste. Like, you could have, like, a bucket and then bring it once a week. Then you'd have to carry it in your car
Yeah.
up to school.
But, like, it's not so much that I want to, like, not throw out my food because I want to compost. It's just that I don't want to waste it in the first place. Like, I don't really care so much about, like, egg shells, but I'm saying, like, I don't want to throw out food that I bought. That's just really wasteful in a lot of ways.
So what are you going to do to, like, realize that goal?
Well, we've talked about maybe starting up our food prep, like, club again, and that would be helpful.
Prep and prattle.
Yeah.
Alliterations galore.
Well, it's one alliteration, but okay.
You're just, like, obsessed with alliterations.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good literary device.
Are they?
That's why I wanted to name this podcast Deerfoot Disters, but you said no.
Okay.
But yeah. So?
Any other plans? Like, what else? Like, just doing that? Like, food prepping?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know what else you could do. Like, that's pretty
True.
much the only way to
Planning.
reduce your food waste is to
That's
plan
fair.
better.
But is your husband on board?
I don't know. I could try to get him on board. It's just hard because we, like, buy in bulk to save money, but then we end up, like, having way too much and we don't use it. And I'm like, did we actually save money if we're just throwing this out?
True.
Well, it's very tricky. It's a balance. We have to find it. We're pretty bad at it, but we'll get better eventually, hopefully. And I figure if you make the goal, and this is, I guess, kind of how I feel about resolutions in general, be they New Year's or not, it's like if you make a goal, even if you fall short of the goal, but you're still making some changes towards it, then that's still a positive.
True.
It doesn't have to be like
Just
an all or
don't-
nothing.
Sorry.
What?
Don't put your hands in front of your mouth because it, like, affects the sound.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's okay. Forgiven.
So remember how I said you can, like, move this episode along and you said you'll do it at the pace at which you're comfortable? I feel like you should pick up the pace a little, girl.
I wanted you to talk more about how you're going to achieve your goals.
I said everything that there is to say. That's how I'm going to do it.
Oh my god, you're so annoying. Anyway, yeah, I've never had a New Year's resolution that I've stuck with for, like, the entire year. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, if you make progress, it's true. I mean, in general with goals, like, they're not supposed to be super big. So
Right.
that's why it's kind of hard to, like, it just depends. I mean, like, I guess most people, it's typically kind of supposed to be, like, some kind of habit that you're doing, I guess.
Right.
So,
Or, like, some people will say, like, oh, I want to, like, pay off my debt by the end of this year. Or, like, something, like, if it's something that is manageable. So they might, like, set a goal for the year. Or they might say, like, oh, I want to write in my journal 5 minutes every day. You know? Something like that. So Momily got us these really cool goal calendars. So it's like one sheet that you printed off, and it's got every month of the year, and then each month is broken down into the number of days in that year. So in that month. So you can set a goal, like a daily goal, like journaling or taking a walk or whatever it is. And then every time that you do it, you can shade in that portion that represents that day, so that at the end of the year you can look back on one page and see like how much you accomplished. So I might use that because it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, I didn't set a goal yet, so I might just color in some of the January days anyway, because otherwise it'll be really blank.
Well, you could just set a goal, and then you could just start it.
Or I could set a goal and be like, oh, yeah, I did do this on these days, so I can go back and fill them in.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a really cool little device.
We could probably post it,
Probably.
like a link to it or something. And if you have a bullet journal or something like that, you could probably shrink it down to fit into your bullet journal. Or,
right.
I mean, I guess you could hand recreate something like this, but that seems a little extra.
Yeah.
But bullet journaling is kind of extra anyway.
Yeah, my kids, like, do their notes, and then they go home and rewrite them, like, all fancy.
They do?
And sometimes they do it in, like, bullet style, and then they, like, highlight certain portions with different colors, and they, like, make them really nice. And then they're like, look at my notes. And I'm like, oh. So when I grade their notebooks, I'm like, dang, these are really nice-looking notes.
How many kids do that?
Like, 5 or 6.
Nice.
Because I think, like, one started doing it, and then all the girls were like, oh, cool, and then they, like, all do it. So, like, I guess they don't have a lot going on at home, so they're like, oh, I have time. I'll just rewrite my science notes. And I'm like, okay, works for me. Looks great.
There's also, like, some kind of term for that, too. It's not quite, like, bullet journaling, because I don't know if that would really be considered it. It's, like, something else, but, like, it's more or less, like, fancy notes. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they like to do it. Like, they're like, oh, I like it. I think it's, like, therapeutic, kind of like how coloring is or something. So I guess if they have extra time, they're like, oh, I'll just, like, remake these. Like, they'll make the titles, like, really pretty.
Yeah.
And stuff. And
plus, it, like, reinforces it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to rewrite your notes. So I'm, like, I'm not mad about it. But I'm just, like, it's nice because now when I look at some of their notebooks, I'm like, oh, this is, like, a beautiful example notebook I can show someone to be like, look how organized and beautiful this is. And it's nothing I did. That was just all the kids did that themselves, so.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I have the boys in my class who will just give me, like, a stack of crumpled papers. And I'm like, this is supposed to be in a notebook. And they're like, why does it have to be in a notebook? And I'm like, because that's the procedure of the class. Like, I don't understand why you can't just glue it in a notebook.
You're supposed to do.
I'm like, I can get you a notebook if you need one. They're like, no, I have a notebook. And I'm like, just put these in there. Like, it's not that hard. We have time in class to do it.
Do they get points off for it?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know how to grade this because it's literally just a crumpled up pile. So, like, as far as your notebook check grade goes, like, there's nothing for me to grade.
Well, so, don't you actually grade the assignments that are in the notebook?
Yeah, so I'll grade those, but then they will get, like, a 0 or, like, half credit on their notebook part of the check.
Oh, okay.
So.
Interesting. So, this year I've seen a lot of, I don't want to say backlash, but people who are kind of like, you're amazing. How about just making yourself better?
New year, better me?
Yeah, it's like stupid.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I mean, I feel like new year, new me is like...
the same thing as saying better me.
But also, like, why is it that we all hate that now? Like, obviously, people used to say that sincerely. And then all of a sudden now everyone just thinks it's, like, corny.
I have no idea.
It's like, are we just nonconformists now? Like, but everyone is, so... I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Pretty much. And what was I just thinking about, too? Like, I shouldn't even say this probably on the podcast. Like, Girl Scout cookies.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of gross.
They're not gross. I mean, I like them.
They're just so basic. And, like, people are just so obsessed with them because it's, like, they come around there. It's like the marketing of it. Like, they come around once a year, and then, like, people are like really obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And we'll eat way more of them than, like, they would eat of any knockoff that probably tastes basically the same that they could get at any time of year, and it's probably cheaper. And it's like, it's just crazy to me. And I'm like, it just makes me think, like, sheeple.
That's like
these people probably watch Star Wars.
No, every time I see people like filing out of one door, and then I just go next to them and open the second door, and I'm like, sheep. I'm just like, bah. Because I'm like, why would you like all do that?
Like, it wasn't even like a lot of people. It was just a person was coming in, so I went out the other door, and then the person like was holding the door for me. So it was like we were opening them almost at the same time, or she was like a second before me, and she was like holding the door, and then I opened the other door, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and I'm like,
yeah, why not just both fit through here?
Can't we?
Well, I
just
actually
go
have a kind of an embarrassing story. So I was at ShopRite yesterday buying
Cans?
peppers for dinner, which was stuffed peppers. So I went to like the self-checkout line. I had my headphones in. I was like listening. There's a lot of people there. So then this lady like gets her bags and she leaves. So I go up to her scanner and start scanning. And then this lady's like next to me like, oh, I was actually using that. I'm just loading up my stuff because there was like a conveyor belt before the self-checkout. But I'm like, I've never seen like a conveyor belt before a self-checkout. So usually at the self-checkout, you're standing at the scanner. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like you're not standing
I've
like
seen both though.
yeah, so I mean like yes, it makes sense that they have them, but I like literally just didn't even notice. There was like 6 people, so it was very crowded. And then I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I had already like scanned through my things. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. And she's like, it's fine, I'm still loading up my stuff. She had a whole cart full and she was like stacking every single thing onto the conveyor belt. I finished like doing my stuff and I paid. And then I was like, I'm really sorry again about that. And she was like, it's fine. She seemed like really pissed, but honestly I was done and she was still like putting her stuff on the conveyor belt. So I was like, that was super embarrassing, first of all. But, like, also, I don't understand why you would do self-checkout with a whole cart full of items. And also, I don't understand why you would wait until the person in front of you was done paying before you would start loading up your stuff on the conveyor belt. And thirdly, I don't understand why you need to load everything onto the conveyor belt when you're the person who's scanning it. Like, why not just scan it out of your cart? Well, I guess, like, she needed to empty her cart so she could put her stuff back in. I don't know. It was really weird to me.
Oh, so she hadn't actually scanned anything yet?
No, she hadn't started scanning. She was, like, literally just organizing her stuff on the conveyor belt.
Oh.
Yeah, so, like, if she had scanned, obviously I would have, like... Because, like, when she was like, oh, I'm actually using that one, I was like, oh, my gosh. So I looked, and I was like, oh, it's only my things on here. And she's like, I'm still loading up my stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. But I was, like, basically done at that point, so I just paid and left. But I was like, this is so awkward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I really, like, I'm sure I looked so rude, but, like, I really just was oblivious. And that's generally not my style. Like, I'm usually pretty aware of my surroundings, but I just completely was oblivious and thought that it was open, and I went there, and it's really embarrassing.
That's pretty awkward. And also, knowing that, because the way you told the story at first, I didn't understand. I thought she had already scanned, and she was putting stuff she had scanned into her cart, and I was like, where the hell was her cart?
No.
And she was, like, walking away. She might have purposefully taken longer because you were there. Like, it might not have taken her as long to unload her stuff.
I don't know, because even after I, like, walked away, she was still doing it. Like, I looked back, and she was still doing it. So I was like, okay.
Why'd you look back?
Because I was wondering if if she was done. I don't know. It was just really awkward. I felt so embarrassed.
Which ShopRite? You can never go there again.
It was Blue Star. I'll just never go to self-checkout again. I just feel like self-checkout is, like, it should be express. Like, I don't understand why you would go with an entire cart full.
Have you ever done that thing at Stop and Shop where you have, like, the scanner as you go?
No, I've never done that, but I've seen it. Scan at customers.
Seems like it would make sense. I've never done either, though.
I feel like I did it maybe once, like, 5 years ago when it first came out, but I don't remember.
I don't know either. Anyway,
So I guess I resolved to not cut people in lines this year. Specifically grocery store lines. Self-checkouts.
you don't cut people anyway.
Well, I cut that lady. It'll probably haunt me till the day I die. I texted Tim. He's like, oh my God, you are so awkward and rude. I was like, I know. I felt really, really awkward. I felt so embarrassed. I was like, is this how Jess feels every day of her life?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty embarrassing.
No, I don't, because I don't get embarrassed.
Ever? I don't think
if
that's
I do
true.
stuff like that, I'll just then say, you know me, the town weirdo. I like really say that to people. And then they're just like, okay.
Okay.
And I'm like, you could also call me tie-dye girl. And they're like, no.
You aren't even wearing tie-dye today. Who are you?
I don't even know who I am anymore. So, another thing that's a very common New Year's resolution, or a common New Year's resolution, is weight loss, like you said, or health improvement.
Health
Improvement.
Yeah, healthy living.
Yeah. So, we used to work at the Y. We still work at the Y, but we're not there as frequently as we used to be. But it's like this time of year is when the gym membership signups like surge. Everyone decides they want to start exercising. They want to start eating healthy.
For about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, so it's like super crowded. And then I didn't go to Weight Watchers or WW this week, but how was it? Was it crowded?
It wasn't that crowded. It was pretty average, I would say. There was like 2 ladies at least, but I think it was pretty normal.
Because we've seen it sometimes in the new year be like super
Standing
packed,
room
where
only.
there's like 20 people signing up, and it's like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe because there's so many more options now.
Yeah,
People
like
aren't
Noom or
necessarily
something
like
else.
only coming to Weight Watchers, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I know like it is, when I was someone who went to the gym all the time, it's like it would be sometimes frustrating when the new year would come around and so many people would come, because, you know, like if you're used to going to like a certain class or whatever, and maybe you have like a spot that you usually sit in, and it's not like you have to sit there, but like everyone else in the class knows that's your spot. You know? And then, like, if you're late one day or something and there's, like, 50 new people, you're like, okay, I can't even get my spot. I can't even have a space. Like, they don't know what they're doing. And I try to be, you know, I try to remind myself, like, well, they're trying and maybe they'll stick with it. And, like, you want to just be compassionate and welcoming and stuff. But it can definitely be frustrating when you're like, oh, my God, get out of my space.
Yeah, and I remember, like, our uncle was telling us how he was at the gym one time and he was waiting for, like, a treadmill or, like, an elliptical or something. And he felt like the person on it was, like, barely moving, and he was getting really annoyed because he was like, oh, they're, like, not even working out. And then when the woman got off the machine, he saw that she was, like, 8.5 months pregnant, and he was like, oh, okay. But I'm like, still, who cares? Like, they're moving more than if they were just sitting. And, like, yeah, you got to be, like, a little bit encouraging of people and, like, understanding.
Right. Which is, like, I feel like the Y is pretty good at that, but, of course, there are, like, some judgmental people, so.
Especially on the swim team.
Yeah. That's true.
Oburn.
Good one. So nice when you bring back days I was bullied in middle school.
You're welcome. Oburn. Speaking of burns, well, I guess we could save this for later, but Renee had her roast and toast, and it was very good.
Yes.
Some of the roasts were, like, hilarious.
Yes, there were some very
Unfortunately,
funny roasts.
I didn't film it. Nobody filmed it. If you were there and you filmed it, let us know. We did get Renee's response on film, but we didn't get all the roasts, and they were actually very funny.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, oh, your brother should be a stand-up comedian, or they were so funny, and I was like, yeah, that's good. But only like 4 people roasted me, including Finn.
Yeah, no. 5 people, including Finn.
Oh, because Momily. I forgot about her. So, Momily, Finn, Tim, Joe, and GD.
Yes. Pretty good.
Those are my roasts. And then I got a few toasts, too. But you didn't do either, did you, Jess?
No.
Wow.
I mean, I had just toasted you the year before, so it's like...
Just?
It was like a year and a half before. Like, I'm going to toast you again. Like, first of all, my toast was amazing. And I spent a lot of time making it. I didn't have enough notice to toast you. And, like, what was I going to say? The same stuff I had already said. I did roast you a bit.
Yeah, you tried.
Oh, burn. I thought it was so funny when Lorelai was like, and I've seen you grow up. And I'm like, have you?
I know, she's cute.
And then Uncle Bill said that he couldn't roast her because he hasn't known her long enough.
Yeah, I was like, you've known me my entire life. So I said maybe at my 50th he'll roast me. Once he's had a chance to know me better.
I guess he just meant he doesn't know you that well. Like, he's not that close with you.
Yeah, I
which
guess.
is a burn in of itself.
I guess.
Oh, burn.
I mean, I feel like he probably knows me pretty well, but...
I think so, too.
Maybe he doesn't feel that close to me. Hi. Why? What is happening?
Sarah's like, you look like you need your face licked.
I think I needed some kisses. Who are you, my husband? Always licking my face. You weirdos.
Sarah, if you love Nene, say, whoa, 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 whoa. Say, whoa, 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 whoa.
Where are you going?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, girl.
Can you say, What are we doing? You're being really weird. Go away.
She just wants to aggressively lick your neck.
She was nibbling on my hand. But why is she like trying to stand on the table? There's not even anything up here.
She just wants to be with you. Say hello, Sarah. Say hello. Say row, row.
Did you hurt your paw?
Nah, she's going. Anyway,
Really weird.
so no thank you. No, thank you.
It's really bizarre.
So we're going to take a quick commercial break. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll be back after this word from our sponsors.
This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just three cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, you know, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
We're back.
Hi, everyone.
So, we're going to pick up where we left off. Actually, we're going to move on to something a little bit new.
Which is
So, we're going to talk about New Year's Eve
New Year's Eve.
as a fun holiday to celebrate.
Parties, New Year's Eve parties.
So,
New Year's Eve
I remember
parties.
New Year's
So, what do you remember?
Eve parties.
Mm.
I feel like it was Mom one time who said that she really hated being alone during that time because it's such a couples holiday.
Huh.
And I always remember thinking, like, what? It's not a couples holiday. But
Well,
I guess
they
it kind of
kiss.
is because you, like, kiss at midnight, so...
Yeah, my husband was sleeping. I had to give a Snow White kind of kiss. Wake him out of his slumber.
No, didn't you wake him before? Okay, so this year it was kind of awkward because we were playing a really fun board game called Death Eaters Rising. And all of a sudden I was like, ooh, it's like 11:59. Or I was like, or we're like, it's getting close to midnight. And then my brother was like, our brother was like, it's 11:59 and 23 seconds. And we're like, ooh, we better get ready. So we start watching the TV. And it was on, like, whatever channel.
So, like, 2 minutes till midnight.
So, like, yeah, a minute and a half. And we're like, that's weird. And then we're like, oh, no, someone paused the TV. So it's, like, not on live. So then we're, like, trying to find, I'm like, hit live on the TV remote. And it, like, isn't saying it. Whatever, pet peeve if people call it a TV remote. Well, there's lots of remotes. Anyway, I guess it's the
that a
cable
pet
box
peeve of
remote.
people?
I thought it was yours. You looked at me weird. Anyway, so then my brother just, like, scans forward. And then we're, like... we get back to live and the ball had dropped. It was still within the 12 o'clock hour, but it was like 12 o'clock in like 30 seconds by the time
it was
we
really
were all
awkward.
like...
So we missed the entire
So then we
ball
were
drop.
just like, Happy New Year! And then everyone started making out and I was like,
I don't know if
I'll
we were
just go
making
to
out.
my room and
I
cry.
think there was like 1 or 2 kisses. Basically all the husbands were asleep except for Joe.
True.
So everyone else was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a quick kiss and then we were on our way.
And went back to our game, which was really fun.
Yeah, very fun game. We enjoyed that board game a lot. Yeah, that was pretty awkward.
It was just so funny because we were like, "Oh, that's weird." We should have just let it go and like gone with the
Yeah,
because
just
then we
gone
could have
with the
done the
timing.
countdown because
Yeah.
we didn't even do the countdown. We were just like, "Oh, oh, oh," and then we were like, "Oh," and then everyone was just like, "Happy New Year!" And then,
It was
cheers,
very awkward.
cheers, cheers, cheers. It was like so stupid.
Yeah, it was really dumb. What are you doing? Coughing up something disgusting?
No.
What?
Anyway,
Okay,
Um,
that's weird.
sorry. So, what are some of your other New Year's adventures that you've had?
So I have had some pretty good New Year's and some pretty not so good New Year's. So one of my favorite New Year's memories probably is at our Aunt Kay and Uncle Bill's party. Obviously when I got engaged, that was a good one. So that was at a New
Was
Year's
it?
Eve party. Yeah. But there's like a picture of us from a New Year's Eve party, I think a couple years before that. And I'm wearing like a silver sequin dress and Jess is like
I believe that
I don't
was
know.
2013.
doing like a Tarzan motion on your chest or something. And
Yeah.
Davey's like looks really drunk with his rosy cheeks. And then I think Joe was like, "This is like the epitome of my family." This is like a fun picture because we like there's like confetti flying and we look happy and like we're having fun. And I like that aspect of New Year's, like the togetherness and stuff. And when we have the party at our aunt and uncle's house, that's really fun because we get to see like a lot of the family and then some of the family friends who are pretty fun to party with. And they always have like confetti, which is fun too. But then one year we had the party there and JD and Eileen were there and some of our family friends' kids were like collecting confetti and throwing it on people again. So they put all this confetti on a plate and threw it on JD, but there was also like a bunch of shrimp cocktail tails on there. So they like threw like a bunch of shrimp tails on him. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was great.
Probably my worst New Year's, like at the time, I had a breakup that happened on New Year's. So that was like...
You did?
Yeah. With Chris.
You broke up on New Year's?
Yes. Because remember at the party was when we were going to do... When we played Kings.
Oh, I thought you meant the guy that lived in California that you like
No,
dated
Chris
in college.
Keller.
Okay, yeah. Oh.
Not Chris Parker.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were at our friend's apartment. So it must have been like, what was that, like 2012?
Yeah, that year was 2012.
So we were playing Kings, or King's Cup, as some people call it, and the rule for the game was the person who drew the last king had to take a shot out of this guy Clint's belly button. So I got the last king, so I was like, okay, I guess I have to drink a shot out of Clint's belly button. And then like my boyfriend, or I don't even know, pseudo boyfriend at the time, was like really mad about it, and like he was like really upset that I was gonna take a shot out of his belly button. And I'm like, Chris, this isn't like a sexy thing. It's not like I'm like, ooh, Clint's belly button. Like it's just a stupid game. Like you know, it's just like
so funny.
it's just like silly. And I was like, honestly, his belly button's like pretty good for shots because he had like a really kind of like wide belly button, and it was like not too deep, so it wasn't like gross stuff in there. But I was like, whatever. And then he was like fighting with me and he was like mad, and then he was like holding this Care Bear and he was just like really cranky and he was just like holding the grumpy Care Bear, and I was like, this is stupid.
Where did you get the Care Bear?
It was like the green Care Bear that was like at their house.
It's like Eileen's or something?
Because it was like on a chair, and then I think he like sat on the chair, so he like picked up the Care Bear, so he was just like holding it, and he just like looked really cranky, and the whole thing was just like dumb. And my whole relationship with that guy had been kind of messed up because like we met before we went on on our road trip.
Yeah.
So like we were hanging out, but then he's all like, "You're going on your trip," and I'm like, "Okay." So like we're not anything serious because he was like saying you're going to be away for like all this time, and I was like, "Whatever, sure." And then like when we got back, I was like, oh, you made it pretty clear, like, we're not serious, so I was, like, dating other people, and then he got, like, really mad, and I'm like, wait, are you my boyfriend? I'm so confused. Like, I cannot tell if you're my boyfriend or not. There's just, like, ferrets all over the place. So, it was a weird relationship. But then, after that New Year's party, basically, I was like, okay, I'm, like, done with this, because you're confusing me, and you're sending me mixed signals, and, like, you're getting really jealous over me drinking out of Clint's belly button, which, like, isn't even a thing, so... Then we, like, broke up, basically. So I guess, like, in the time, that was, like, probably one of my worst New Year's, like, literally breaking up with someone. But
you did still see him after that.
Very rarely.
Because later in January was when that whole thing, when we, like, went to his house after Colorado.
Yeah, but it was, like, I was, like, basically over it at that point.
True.
Like, I was like, we're not together. Like, yeah, so... Whatever. That was interesting.
Weird.
Yeah. And I feel like this holiday season hasn't really felt... even like the holidays, because it's been so warm. It's been like 50 degrees that I'm like, it doesn't even feel like we're in January. Like, I don't even
Wasn't
know.
it like that last year too?
Probably.
Yeah, last year it was really warm.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it because I feel like I feel so out of whack. Like the other day,
I had a wickety whack.
There was like Monday. I was like walking outside. It was like super sunny and like 50 degrees, and I'm like, I don't really even feel like I'm on like Christmas break right now. Like, I feel like this is spring break.
I'm fine with it.
My times are all out of whack. I don't know. I kind of wish winter felt like winter and summer felt like summer and spring and fall felt like spring and fall. But now I feel like we just have like one season in New Jersey, or it's like we have two. We have like the cold season, the cold rainy season, and the super hot season. And I'm like, can we just have like a comfortable day here and there? I don't know.
It's always the super hot season over here.
Totally. The way you whipped your greasy braid. Really brought that whole thing together.
It's not even that greasy.
No, it just looks wild on the top. Kind of dandruffy, but whatever.
Your hair's really greasy today.
My hair's been getting really greasy.
Keep going like this, and I was like, dang, girl.
And the thing is, I washed it yesterday. Like, I think I might be washing it too much. Now that it's shorter, maybe I'm, like, using too much shampoo. I don't know. And stripping it, because it's been, I feel like it's been getting really greasy really easily.
Have you ever seen a chicken strip?
Yeah.
I've never seen a chicken wear clothes.
What is that from?
It's from that Between Two Ferns movie.
Oh, because I'm like, I've eaten chicken strips many times, but not wearing clothes.
She's just like, I've never seen a chicken wearing clothes. One of the best quotes that Chris Guy ever said was after we went to the beach with him one day, and it was after our road trip. He did come down to the beach with us. So first we had met him Memorial Day weekend, and we like went out to a bunch of bars and stuff and did a lot of dancing. And then we probably were dancing when we were down at the beach too, and we were at the beach all day. And then he said something like, "Oh, you guys are crazy. It's like when you dance all night, and when you swim all day." We're like,
yeah, we like to do the things we enjoy.
Yeah, we do the things we like, swimming and dancing.
Deal with it. Because then I dated this other guy who I'd actually dated in high school, and then we reconnected after high school, after I broke up with that Chris guy, and he, like, basically said the same thing. He was, like, saying how, he's like, you're always just, like, deal with it. If you don't like this, deal with it. And I was kind of just like, okay, like, deal with it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, first of all, I do say that all the time, and I didn't really realize, but I guess that the point is, like, with that, like, relationship, which we only went on a couple dates, but he was pretty into it, I think. At that point in my life, I was like, when we dated in high school, I was, like, way more into him than he was into me. You know, and he definitely, like, took advantage of me in some ways, like, the way that a high school boy might. Not, like, anything like he pressured me, but just, like, he obviously wasn't, like, as invested in it.
Well, it's like you were, like, super desperate.
Yeah, I was, like, really desperate and clingy, and he was just, like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So then now as the tables had turned, like, I was fine with it, but I was also just like, this is who I am as a person, and, like, I'm not that invested, so if you don't want to handle this, like, I don't care. You can deal with it, or you can, like, not be with me. Like, I'm not, like, at the point in my life right now where I'm going to compromise these things about myself. But it was just funny, because I'm like, I never really realized how much I said that until you said it, and then I realized, oh my god, I say that literally all the time. What are you doing?
I'm just making some notes for next week.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't even know how that came up. But, yeah. So.
The deal with it thing? Oh, because we were saying how Chris was saying that we dance all night and swim all day, and you were like, deal with that.
Right. So, but I guess I did have, like, a New Year's resolution that year after Chris and I broke up, which was, like, to look out for number one, and just, like, that's really stupid. And I was like, okay. Basically, I just meant, like, my resolution is to, like, not compromise myself for other people.
Yeah, you do that a lot in relationships.
Well, yeah. So, probably because I was going to not do it and you said it was stupid. In our relationship, I felt I had to compromise myself and just not have that resolution. So, there you go.
Anyway. So, nice. Interesting.
We've never really gone out for New Year's, though. Like, to a party.
No.
Like, I mean, to a club or something.
I've never
I don't
had
really
a
see the
desire
appeal.
to do that. I don't like clubs. And even just, like, going out to, like, the Colorado Cafe.
Yeah.
For, like, the day before Thanksgiving. That was, like, enough kind of that vibe for me.
Yeah. The club vibe is... The Colorado Cafe the night before Thanksgiving is enough club vibe for you for your entire life. Wow. Yeah, you have a pretty low quota for club vibe. Because that's not a club. It's a country western bar. In a small town in New Jersey.
But it was so crowded and there was, like, no seats.
When do you ever sit at the Colorado Cafe? I feel like we only stand and dance.
True.
Did Chris Keller say we swim all day and sit all night? No, we dance all night.
Anyway. I am kind of sad that place is gone.
Why? We haven't gone out anywhere in, like, years. Maybe if we went, they wouldn't have closed.
I know. It's so weird. I never thought that we'd become these people.
Old?
Some old people go out, Renee. We could still go out.
I feel like sad alcoholics go out when they're old. Happy alcoholics stay home.
If we still lived closer here, we probably would go to karaoke sometimes.
Yeah, maybe karaoke's cool. But that's not really the same as, like, going out to a bar, I feel like. I mean, it is, but I feel like it's going for a specific activity. Like, we go to trivia every week, and that's at a bar.
I know. And, like, we found that one band that we like, and sometimes they play, but it's like we have to basically go out at 7 and then not come home. Because if we're home, we're never leaving the house at 10:30.
Oh, yeah,
That's
God,
just...
no.
It's sad.
It's sad. And I also feel really old when we go to bars. Like, when we went
Not
out for
like
my
a lot of
bachelorette party, I was like, okay, I feel like a grandma. Like,
Well,
this is so awkward.
Yeah, because, like, we're going to bars where a lot of young people go. But, like, the places where that band was playing, they're more, like, divey, which would be, like, more of an old people. Like, when we went to Tim Kerwin's, like, bands play there. Like, we went to see that, like, Too Many Gods or whatever that we used to like. And, like, Audrey and Lena and I went. Mm-hmm. That place has a lot of old people.
Yeah.
And people were dancing, but, like...
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, places like that, you know, we'll be the hot sums.
What? The hot sums? What's a hot sum?
I don't know. It's what we are.
It's, like, weird, too, because you thought about it for so long. And all I could come up with was a hot sum with another braid flip. That's why you're losing it. You're old now. You're losing your touch. You had the pretty young things.
Okay.
More notes?
Yeah, I want to write something that
Do you have something different? Like, are these color coordinated legal pads for specific things?
Yes.
Interesting. So what's the pink one for?
It's the podcast.
What's the yellow one?
That's just basic everyday notes.
Everyday notes?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of notes do you put on there?
Well, I have my grocery
Buy
list.
more milk?
My grocery list is on here, and, like, to-do list.
Huh. Interesting.
The yellow one isn't always yellow. The pink one...
Do you ever write on the back of legal pad paper?
I did when I made my packing list to come here, because I was like, might as well. And so I ripped it out and wrote on the back, because I was like, I'm not going to need to
Do you ever write
save
on
it.
the back and not rip it out?
No.
Like, after you zip the legal pad, do you ever, like, go back and write on the backs of the pages?
No, I would never do that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah.
You do that?
That's weird. Only when we're, like, running low on legal pads at work. Because a lot of times at work, I'll, like, write stuff, but it's just stuff that I need to know for, like, a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So then it doesn't, like, matter. It doesn't need to be organized. So if there's no legal pads in the office, I'll sometimes use the backs.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I could just buy a legal pad, I guess.
really
but that just
gross.
seems like... Oh, okay. I don't know if gross is really the right word to describe it, but that's fine. That's gross, sure.
So we're going to do a little holiday recap.
Okay.
How were the holidays for you? You said it didn't really feel like the holidays.
Yeah, it really didn't.
It was a little,
It was a little anticlimactic.
kind of a lot disappointing, actually.
Yeah, it was probably like the worst holiday I've had in a long time.
I think it was the worst holiday I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, because, like, it was really good that all of our brothers were home, which was great, and then
Yes.
our cousins came, but they were sick, and so that kind of put a damper on it.
Yeah, so, like, they hardly came to anything. And
Yeah.
then they just left.
Yeah, we
And I
didn't
was
get to
like,
see
okay,
them
that's
very
kind of a
much,
bummer.
and then they had to
And
leave
then when
early.
we were with them, they were, like, kind of out of it.
Yeah.
Because they were sick, so...
So that
You know,
definitely
we were
like,
like,
brought it
we
down.
looked forward to that all, like, for months, and then it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guess we just won't see you, even though you're 5 miles away, and you're going back home now, so bye.
And then
it kind of sucked.
And then I was sick, so I didn't go to, like, Six Flags with you guys. And then, like, the one day, whatever, our brother went into the city. We didn't go with him. And
Right.
I was also recovering, so we just
And
kind of,
then I
like,
just
all
ended up
stayed
taking
home.
my grandma to the doctor because she was sick. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, fun. You know, lots of fun
Yeah,
times.
so it was kind of, like, really disappointing. But I
Yeah.
guess it's because we normally have, like, such really good, such amazing, like, holiday experiences.
Right.
So.
And the Christmas holidays are always very busy, so I never really feel, like, relaxed after. Like, when I go
Yeah.
back to work, I had, 12 days off work or something, like, a long time.
Yeah,
But I was, like, so exhausted when I went back to work.
right.
And that's why I like spring break. Now, when I teach at the college now, it means that I don't really ever have, like, a actual spring break, because when I have spring break from the college, I have high school, and when I have spring break from the high school, I have to teach at the college. And it's only 2 nights a week, but still, it's not like you really get like the whole week of doing nothing.
True.
And sometimes I feel like teaching at night is like so much more annoying. Like if I could just teach 3 hours in the morning those 2 days, I feel like I had so much more time. But having to teach like, 6 to 9:30 or whatever, it's like so much more annoying. But it is nice to have a break when other people don't, because sometimes it's like if I just want to like veg out at home, like it's easy because like no one else is there and they can't judge me or, have expectations of me. So it's kind of nice to just do whatever you want.
True. That's true.
I mean, that's kind of like your life every day, I feel, Jess, but
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, it's nice.
Not really, though, recently. I was, like, extremely busy.
Well, yeah, recently you've been quite busy.
But, yeah.
So I look forward to that.
Huh?
I said, so I look forward to that spring break. And we went to Six Flags, which was actually a lot of fun because it was holiday in the park. So, like, half the park is open and there's not a lot of, like, some of the rides are open. Not every ride is open, but most of the rides are open. And we had purchased, like, a play card earlier in the year. It was, like, pay $50, you get $70 worth of games or something. And we hadn't used it all and it expired at the end of the year. So I was like, I guess we should use this. So it was, like, 4 adults, but then we played a bunch of games and we actually won some really cute prizes. And then I had, like, extra money and these people came up that were going to play the same game we just played. And we had just won, like, the choice prize. So I was like, okay, we don't really need, like, more stuffed animals. So I just gave them the money from the card. And they were like, oh, thank you so much.
You don't need more stuffed animals?
Well, we won, like, 3 stuffed animals and a hat. So I was like, I feel like that's enough for one day. So we won a really soft, squishy octopus.
Nice.
And then a big sloth that was called a belly buddy. So he's got, like, a big belly.
Oh.
And then we won a cute Christmas unicorn and an elf hat.
Are they at your house?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're all my prizes because it was my game card.
Oh, okay.
And I think I actually won all of them. Well, 2 of them were, like, play till you win, so.
All right.
But the other one was, like, you threw, like balls, like, wiffle balls onto this table that has, like, a bunch of different holes in it. And then, like, in some of the holes, there's, like, different colored cups. So if your wiffle ball goes in that hole, you win that color coordinated prize. So we won a large prize and a choice prize on that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Impressive.
Pretty nice.
You're pretty good at games, I guess.
Well, I was pretty lucky, but I felt pretty happy about it. We got them both, like, on, like, the second to last or last ball, so it's pretty exciting, in and of itself. And then I bought some cute onesie jammies there, because also at Holiday in the Park, I guess since, like, the season is ending, they have a lot of sales on the stuff. And being that we're Diamond Elite members, we get 50% off everything anyway. So it was like, I bought this cute onesie jammies. It was like $15 or something. And they're pretty nice. They don't have pockets, but other than that, they're pretty nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought so.
So, another thing that we were thinking about, like, in relation to the holidays is, I was saying to Renee how like, so many people, they only see their family, like, once during the holidays. And I was like,
Yeah,
that'd be weird.
it would be kind of weird. But I don't know. Like,
But we just,
always
like,
see
enjoy
our
being with our family.
Yeah, and we see our family all the time anyway.
True.
Like, it's not like we only see them during the holidays. So if we did only see them once during the holidays, it's like, I don't know. I feel like we see them pretty regularly anyway, so it wouldn't really matter.
True, I guess.
Unless they're, like, coming and visiting from far, obviously.
One of the activities that we had was the Rafus Lover annual cook-off. Ara won again.
But it was very
2
close.
years in a row.
Yeah, and she trash-talked Tim. And she was
Yeah.
like, I thought you were a great competition, Tim. Maybe 3rd time's the charm. So they'll have to try again. Next time's going to be in Seattle, so maybe the change of venue will switch things up. Who knows?
Possible.
It's very possible. You never know. Some fresh seafood ingredients or something else.
Who knows?
Some cherry.
All right, we're going to move on to our weekly segments.
Okay.
So first...
Oh, wait, I just wanted to say one more thing about some of the games we played.
Oh, okay.
We played some really fun board games.
Oh, I thought you meant at Six Flags. I was like, oh, no, okay.
No, I think I kind of covered that one.
Right? I feel like we talked about it a lot. What other fun amusement games did you play?
Actually, it's kind of stupid. We played this one game that was, like, knocking over penguins. But basically, like, you shot this air cannon that had like yarn balls in it that were supposed to like, whatever, they were snowballs, and there was like a backdrop. It was like a not cardboard, like a wood igloo with some penguins and stuff, and you're supposed to like knock over the penguins, but we're like hitting them with the balls, and they're like not falling, and I'm like, and Joe's like, how are these supposed to fall? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure like those inflatable penguins that are like deflated over there are supposed to be like set up in front of these penguins, but they just like didn't really have the game set up because it was like play till you win. So I was like, so basically we just like 4 adults just shot snowballs at a wooden wall, and then we won a unicorn. So it was kind of awkward, but fun, I guess. But no, I was going to talk about some of the board games we played, because obviously Joe was in town and he loves board games, and he brought a bunch. So we played Telestrations, which is really fun. That's a great party game if you sort of like games, but you're not into the super complex. That game is like a mix between Pictionary and the game of telephone. So it's pretty easy, and it's really fun, and there are ways to keep score, but we just do it as like a fun game. We were not competitive about it, which is weird for us because we're extremely competitive, but it's just something that's more fun than anything else. And then we did play that Death Eaters Rising game, which is a really cool Harry Potter game if you're into Harry Potter or rolling dice. That's a good one. And then Joe got me a new game called Camel Up, which they had actually talked about on Beefy Boys, and they talked about how it's this game where there's these little plastic camels and they're racing around a track, and you have to like bet on the camels and the outcome of each race. And there's also these wacky, crazy camels that run backwards on the track, and sometimes the camels stack up on top of each other. So then like the crazy camels might carry some of the other camels backwards. So I was like, oh, that game sounds really, really cool. And then Joe and Ara actually got that for me for Christmas. So I was like, oh, cool. So we played that a bunch. It was really fun. Not too hard to learn. It's pretty easy to learn. And it's relatively quick, like 25 minutes. So yeah, pretty fun one. And then Tim got me a board game too. Well, a party game called Throw Burrito. And it's by the same people who made Exploding Kittens. And it's basically sort of like Gin Rummy. You have to make matches of cards. And then certain matches require players in the game to throw these squishy burritos at each other. Mm-hmm. So it's just like pretty fun. You can do a burrito brawl or a burrito war or a burrito duel, and the burritos are just cute and they're like the consistency of those squishies. Yeah. So they're really soft, so they don't really hurt anything. So I would recommend both of them. They were pretty fun.
We also played, my Secret Santa was Odalis, and she got me Telestrations, which I had asked for, and then she also got me this game called Blockbuster, which is like a movie trivia. It's not really movie trivia, it's like a movie guessing game, and it's so cute because it comes in a case that looks like a Blockbuster VHS like rental. Yeah, so super adorable.
That's cute.
But basically there's like a quick round, so it's actually a really fun game because it's a party game, right? So there's 2 teams, so it's like you can have as many players as you want. One person on each team like faces off in a way for each round. So you start off and there's some kind of like characteristic of the movie. So the one was like movies with vampires, and you go back and forth for like a minute or something, naming as many as you can. And if you happen to be having the buzzer, it's like your turn. When the buzzer goes off, you lose the lightning round. Okay. And then the other person gets to pick 6 movies, and they choose 3 that they want, and they give you the other 3. So, like, if you're the loser, you just don't get to pick the movies that you have.
Like, you pick them out of a stack or something?
It's like a stack, yeah. And then, like, the person who won gets to, like, select.
I thought you meant the person just, like, picked 6 movies.
No, sorry. Like, really they're cards. There's movie cards. And then there's, like, different genres. So then you have 3 goals, and so you have 3 movies, and you put them each in a different spot on your game board. And one is called One Word, so you can give a one-word clue. One is called charades, you do charades, and the other one is called quotes. And they said if you don't know quotes, you can just make them up. So, anyway.
So can you give an example of one that you did?
Yeah, but now I can't remember what her name was, the nurse.
Oh, Nurse Ratchet?
Yeah, what did I call her?
I don't know, Nurse Racket or something?
Yeah, something weird. So, the one that I had, it was speed. So I just was like, fast. And my mom actually got it.
Nice.
And then the other, for quotes, I think I started with quotes because it was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I said, oh, you're so mean, Nurse Ratchet or whatever. Is that her name? That's her name, right?
I'm pretty sure it's Nurse Ratchet. You said like Nurse Bracket.
Oh, I said
or
Nurse
something.
Cratchit.
Oh yeah, Nurse Cratchit. I'm like,
Anyway.
isn't it Ratchet? But
So anyway, and then I had Back to the Future was my charades. So I like turned around and I said back, and then I said like 2. I don't know if you're allowed to do that in charades. And then she was like, Back to the Future. So then I went over to one of Joe's on his team, and it was quotes was Nightmare Before Christmas. So I was like, this is Halloween. But as soon as I said that, the buzzer rang. So then
no one got
he's like, well, I know one of mine. Like. But it's pretty fun, and it's like it's a fun game because you can play it with like a large group. It can be like your guessing team.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a charades or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not limited. That's cool.
So I was like, that was interesting, but we didn't play it as a whole group because some people didn't really like it. So, but I think it's something that like our friends group would like.
Yeah, probably. It's kind of like the heads up type thing.
Yeah.
So that would be fun. Cool. Nice.
So now we'll move on to the segment formerly known as Weight Watchers. I did not weigh in this week.
Loser, did you even get to charm?
No, because we go near our old house, and I'm currently staying at Nana's again, watching the dogs.
Sweet charm.
I know, Mom showed me hers.
It's kind of lame.
Doesn't it
Just
say my WW on the back?
It just says my.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess, and then WW on the front. And then she also gave me another 5-pound bar, but I was like, oh, actually, I already have this because I gained weight and then I lost weight again. So.
Did you take the bar? Because Mom's missing her 5-pounder.
Oh, no, I gave it back to her.
Oh.
Awkward. So yeah, this week I was down 1.2 pounds. Thank you. I was not tracking or doing anything. And when we first weighed in, I was exactly the same. And Katie's like, you don't want to take your sweatshirt off? And I was like, no, it's fine. And then the lady's like, you should just take it off. And Katie's like, yeah, take it off. And then they're like, take it off. And I was like, okay. So I took it off, and then I was down 1.2. So I was like, okay, I guess my sweatshirt weighs more than I thought. I usually do take off, like, my sweatshirt. Usually when I weigh in, I'll wear, like, leggings and, like, a tank top. Is it tank top? Or maybe a t-shirt.
A tank top?
Yeah. So, down 1.2. Overall, I'm only down, like, I guess 5-something pounds. Let me see what my overall is. Let me check my success planner.
My success
Oh,
planner.
actually, overall, I'm only down 4.4 according to this book. So I don't know why she gave me that.
Awkward.
But I don't think that's actually true. I think
Kitty awkward.
this book, I think, started... My weight in my app, I think, is higher than what this started at. So maybe it comes up... I don't know why they would be different.
I have no idea. Like, there's so many bones I have to pick, and I was like, ugh, Oprah. I'm like, it's not her. And I was like, whatever. The changes started when she took over.
You think Oprah messed up WW?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is kind of weird.
What?
I don't know. I don't know if mine's updated on my app or not, but whatever. Anyway, so it's really weird. Like, I don't know what they used to have stickers that they would print out. I don't know why they don't do that. Like, I guess maybe,
Yeah, where they just write it now. It's kind of weird.
it's kind of weird. And then also they gave us these like larger books, which I guess you don't need the book. I guess you can just use your app anyway.
Right.
Because it's like, who cares, really? Right? If you read it in the book.
Yeah. Who cares, I guess.
I mean, so if you don't want to use the book, it's not that big of a deal, I guess. But it's just, like, annoying to me. Because I'm like, this thing is big. And, like, I often just carry, like, a small, like, wristlet. So I'm not going to fit that in my bag.
Right.
And then, like, we would like, carpool a lot. So it's, like, if I left it in my car, like, I might not even have it. And I don't know. I'm just like, this is dumb.
Well, whatever. I mean... Some of the people at our Weight Watchers meeting are really weird. I mean, at our WW workshop. But I'm just like, whatever. It's like a fine meeting. It's like definitely not my favorite. There's definitely some like real weirdos there. And like they're kind of cliquey, I feel like, which is weird. But
They're really
it's fine.
cliquey.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we first started, and like the girl who, and then there's a Facebook page that's like not sponsored by the program or anything. It's just like the members made it.
Right.
But the girl who, like, manages it, like, admins it, I think she pretty much, like, always accepts people. But then, like, some of the people, they're like, oh, you have to be here. You have to be serious to be in the group. And, like...
Probably that lady who told me I can't wear a shirt if I didn't run a 5K.
Yeah. I think it was.
It probably was. She's, like, really kind of very serious about it.
She's very judgy.
But almost, like, how serious are you about WW if you've been going here for, like, 6 years and you're not Lifetime?
She isn't?
I don't know. Maybe she is.
I think she is.
Oh. Well, then I guess joke's on me.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
So embarrassing.
Yeah, it's so awkward.
Why don't you just go to the regular checkout, please?
Yeah, seriously.
Check yourself.
Yeah,
out.
check yourself before you cut the line.
And the last segment is what's poppin' at the movies.
Pop at the movies.
You like popcorn, Nene?
I love popcorn. I had some popcorn earlier, actually, today.
So
I love popcorn, but it's still, I feel like at this point, and the technological advances that we've made, we should have discovered some way to prevent hard popcorn husks from getting stuck in between your teeth. It's like literally the worst feeling in the world.
yeah, it's really annoying.
And then like sometimes you find one like a day later and I'm like, I know I brushed my teeth 2 times. And sometimes I'll even floss and I can't get the thing out. So it's so uncomfortable. Scientists, let's work on
Because they
this.
like hug your teeth.
Yeah, and then sometimes they get like right up in your gums and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that hurts. And it's like, is it worth it for me to never eat popcorn again? No, it's just like a booby-trapped snack that sometimes
You
causes
can
my
eat
gums
the
to hurt.
popcorn very delicately and not eat the kernels. Like you see
just
the
eat
top
around
part
it,
and
like-
then like
like an
the little
apple and
side
then-
parts. Yeah.
Put out the core. I guess I could try that.
That you have to eat popcorn one kernel at a time, not one handful at a time.
I know. I was thinking too. Like I'm a neat eater. Like I really don't spill on myself very much. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine when people are really messy eaters, and that's true for pretty much everything except popcorn. When I eat popcorn, like literally, I'm just spilling it all over myself. I'll find it in my shirt, in my hair, in my purse. It's just everywhere. That and powdered donuts, because those are just impossible to eat neatly.
Why do you eat powdered donuts?
But like cream filled, they have
Oh.
powder. Yeah, not like just a powdered. I'm not an animal. Although I do like the cinnamon ones.
Ew.
They're good, I think. Anyway,
not.
so
They're
back to the
nasty.
movies and what's popping therein. We saw
Spies in Disguise.
what?
Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise.
Spies in Disguise.
We saw Spies in Disguise, which is a movie starring Will Smith and Tom Holland. It is an animated film, not Disney. Is it a
DreamWorks or something? I don't know.
I don't even know what it was. But basically, Will Smith is a CIA agent, and Tom Holland is like a scientist working there, and he devises a plan for this agents to blend in by turning them into pigeons. So he turns Will Smith into a pigeon. And then Will Smith has been framed for a crime. So as a pigeon, he is now trying to clear his name. But as you might imagine, hijinks ensue.
Oh. So I guess it's from 20th Century Fox,
Okay.
but I guess they were bought by Disney.
Oh, yeah, because Disney owns Fox. So
It says this is the first animated film from 20th Century Fox to be released after the Disney purchase.
Okay. So what'd you think of it, Jess?
So this is the first movie in my life that I've actually fallen asleep in. Like I've been really tired of movies before and like kind of been like almost asleep, but I was like really asleep for probably like 20 minutes of this movie.
Okay. I fell asleep for like a couple minutes, but I was like half asleep, so I still like knew what was going on.
Was I snoring?
No, I don't think so, but you were
That's
sleeping pretty
surprising
heavily.
because I snore really loudly. So I mean, I snore pretty frequently. Was I farting?
I don't know.
I also sleep fart a lot, so I don't know. I mean, it was okay.
So did it bore you to sleep, or you just
No,
happened
I was
to be
just like
tired?
really, really tired. And then like as soon as it started, well, I was like ferociously eating popcorn, and then I was like going for a sleep, and then I was like, and then I wanted
Going
more
for
pop-
a sleep?
and then I wanted more popcorn, and Renee wouldn't get us any. Anyway,
What do you mean you were going for a sleep?
I mean, I ended up like I was falling asleep, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it because I don't really care about this movie. It's kind of dumb. So I guess I thought it was kind of dumb.
Okay. Yeah, it was like kind of dumb, but I actually thought it was pretty funny. It did have a lot of like jokes about butts and stuff, and like
Yeah,
some stuff that was like a little inappropriate that I was like, that's like not really appropriate for kids. Like it was fine, and it was obviously more innuendo than anything like totally overt. So for example, like in the beginning when he first turns into a pigeon, like he doesn't immediately turn into a pigeon. He starts like shrinking first, so his hand gets like really small, and he's like, oh, what happened to my hand? my hand's so tiny. And then he, like, looks down at the front of his trousers. So I was like, okay. That's like, I mean, I guess maybe that would be a typical male response of, like, parts of me are shrinking. But it was just like, I was like, okay, that's kind of gross. And then, like, they show this, like, fat guy naked after his, like, soak in the tub, and then, like, they just show his, like, fat butt. And I'm like, why do we need to see, like, a naked butt? Like, yes, it's animated, but that's, like, not really necessary. I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of silly. I was like, but overall,
Because kids laugh at it, so it's like...
yeah, I guess. There were some funny parts. It was, you know, it's not Disney. But it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Like, I wasn't dying to see it in the first place, but I was like, okay, whatever, we'll see it, because it was, our cousins asked if we wanted to go, and we were like, we love the movies, so we'll pretty much never say no. I mean, we saw Cats in the theater. But, yeah, I would say kids probably liked it. I wouldn't really feel the need to see it again, but it was pretty funny. There were some funny jokes. I can't think of one specifically at the moment, but I do remember...
a towel!
I do remember laughing at some parts and being like, okay, that was actually pretty clever, or that was pretty funny, but... It was kind of dark, too, because, like, Tom Holland's character, like, his mom was, like, killed in the line of duty, and I don't know, I feel like it was kind of dark, some of the parts, but... Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs?
I'd probably give it, like, meh thumbs. I felt pretty meh about it, so 2 thumbs pointing at each other. How about you?
I was agreeing.
Oh, okay, meh thumbs.
That's why I said yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get back to more movies soon. There's a lot of good stuff out, but we just haven't really been lately.
True. All right. So you can check us out on the socials and stuff at Deerfoot Sisters. You can check out our Facebook page if you want to, Deerfeet Podcast. If you're listening, you probably already do those things. Unless you're new. And if you are, I wonder how you found us. Let us know. Comment down below. And by down below, I mean wherever you want to comment. See ya!
Bye. We're the Deerfoot Sisters.
Oh, yeah. We're the deer. Well, I was going to do that.
Oh, I thought you were saying bye already.
I was like saying, see ya, we're the Deerfoot Sisters, and we're prancing away.
You just looked like you were going to click it.
Well, I
Okay,
was
you say you're
poised.
going to do it, you're going to do it. Okay, just take us away.
So, anyway, we're the Deerfoot Sisters.
And we're prancing away.